video setting.
Now this morning, instead of me doing all the talking, I'd like to ask you some questions and get your expression on this.
This setting is on warm.
What happens is you begin to get a swelling in a certain spot, and it spreads, and then it starts to raise, and it comes to a nasty little white knot up top. And it makes it so sore you couldn't possibly touch anywhere around it. If you've ever had boils, you know what I'm talking about. But can you imagine a man having boils from the top of his head to the bottom of his foot? You could never stand on the thing. If you've had boils, you know what that's all about. Now that's one description of what Job had. Would you like to read Job's description of what he had? Turn to Job chapter 7, verse 5. In Job 7, verse 5, Job said, "My flesh has become clothed with maggots," that's little worms, "and lumps of dust. My skin itself has formed crust, or it was scabby and dissolved." So what did Job have? He had open wounded sores, full of pus, with little maggots around in there trying to eat out the pus. If you wanted in one short sentence, Job was a mess. Can you imagine yourself in a situation like that? I'll tell you, it wouldn't be pleasant. It wouldn't be pleasant at all. Now, you and I may not be special test cases like Job was, but the fact remains, we may suffer disease. And our disease may be very painful. It may be
Oh, it's still running. This is called original video setting.
Now this morning, instead of me doing all the talking, I'd like to ask you some questions and get your expression on this. When people have problems with their health, is it because Jehovah's to blame? All of us know from our study of the Bible that's not the reason. Jehovah doesn't strike people with problems with their health. Okay, then the question comes up, why do people have problems with health? If you have problems with health, the question is always why. Now, there are a lot of different answers to this question. Suppose you give me one reason why people have problems with health, and see how many we can name in this community. Let it back here. Imperfection is the big reason why people have problems with their health. We're imperfect, and we just haven't got the ability inside of ourselves to face disease. Now that's the big reason why we have problems. What are some other reasons? What is this? Pollution is a big problem. Yes. Sometimes from our parents we inherit something. No fault of our own, but it's a issue. That's not. Whether yes, it may be. Some of us are not careful with what we eat. Some of us don't get the nourishment we need. Just to add a few others. Some of us don't get the sleep we need either. Trying to burn the candle at both ends, and then you're really worn out, and you're exposed to something, and you haven't got the physical ability to fight it. And as the brother said, some of us don't breathe the best air, not through any fault of our own, it's just where we live. And some of the foods are not as nourishing as they might be under better conditions. So there are a lot of different reasons why we have problems with health, and we appreciate that. But there are some other reasons too. You know, know, we live in a world where we're surrounded by imperfect people. And we live in a world that is full of disease and infection. Now, you personally may have a very good standard of hygiene. Maybe you're careful to get the sleep you need. Maybe you're careful about the food you eat and your own cleanliness. But we live in a world surrounded by imperfect and diseased people. Now, just as an example of what can happen, let's say you go out shopping. You go into one of these big supermarkets where you have to push the door, you got to grab the handle to go in. Now, who went through that door 10 seconds before you? You don't know, do you? And how infected he was. And what did he leave on that door, Jim? And you come through and with your hand you push it. And whatever he left on there, you pick it up. And then you get in the store and your eye itches, so you go, and what germs did you just put in the opening of your eye? Well, let's say you're a youngster and you go to school. Let's say your school has 2 stories, and you go from the first floor to the second during a break in your classes. You go down the banister, and how many hundred kids went down that banister, and what kind of infection did they leave on that banister? Well, let's say you don't have a 2-story school, but just one, and you come into your next class, and the desk is all full of erasures, scraps, and dust, and you get all the stuff off. And then the teacher says, now we'll turn to page 15. And to turn the page, you go, and you lick your finger to turn the page, and what did you just lick off your finger? We live in a world where we're surrounded by sick and diseased people. And despite our best efforts, we become exposed to disease and infection that we never planned on. Well, there are a lot of reasons why people get sick and have problems with their health. God is to blame for it. We're to blame for a lot of it. Some of it we've inherited. Some of it we blame other people for. Rather than blaming God, we can thank God that He's told us about the new system of things, and it won't be long before sick people begin to get well. But the fact still remains that you and I may suffer a loss of health. It may be because of old age. Some of us may get cancer. Some of us may get polio or other diseases. And it may be a very great test of your endurance. And frankly, it may be very depressing to you when you have problems with health. And I'd like to say, if you have problems with depression, against Job when he was sick. You read the Bible account, and Job kept on speaking to God.